Thank you so much, New York. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be back. I've been traveling a lot recently, which has been fun, but it's weird. Like, I've noticed that my race changes city to city. Like, when I'm in Chicago, people just think that I'm half black, half white. When I'm in New York, people think that I'm Puerto Rican. But when I'm in CVS, everyone thinks I'm stealing.
In Irving Goffman's essay Performances, Goffman looks at the creation of self through interaction. He specifically theorizes that the self is something we deliberately show to people, and we are able to have multiple interacting versions of self. As a mixed-race woman who's grown up in America, I agree with Goffman's theory in that I do tend to show different sides of myself and put up different fronts depending on the environment that I'm in. Instead of this being an uncontrollable way in which society might view me, this is me deciding what to show to whom and in what setting to show it. I specifically wanted to analyze and get a better sense of how students of color at Georgetown view their presented selves as changing in different settings on campus.
It's not even that I present like a different version of myself, I just kind of don't present myself at all, and I sort of just like sit there trying to maybe chime in if I can like relate to anything or say something, but I often feel like the things that I have to say are just either not valid or anything, and that can make you feel really silent in a lot of groups.
I feel as though the way we act as African American men and around my friends and peers can be different and could seem awkward in a classroom atmosphere due to the fact we go to a predominantly white school and then most of our professors are predominantly white. So the way I act is probably just changing my attitude and then acting more refined and in hopes to not make them feel uncomfortable. And I feel as though this is an easy thing to do because society has trained us to do this.
I think that I'm being my most sincere self probably when I'm around groups of people that I have like shared identities with. So a lot of it is like my co-choreographers from Rangila or just the whole like SAS community on campus, or a lot of them at least. Just because we all like grew up in like Indian households or like Pakistani households that have a lot of shared values, and like we just experience a lot of the same issues growing up, and a lot of the same like cultures.
There's definitely times that I have to code switch. For example, when I'm hanging out with my friends, like getting dinner at Leo's or something, I'll talk a completely different way. I'll be more loose with how I talk compared to when I go to office hours or I'm in class, because I don't want to give off a picture of a person who, I don't want the people to think that I'm a person that I'm not, and they might, I don't know, make assumptions based on the way that I speak or talk.
Especially working at Hilltoss, I find myself trying to live up to the stereotype that everyone who works for the Corp is rich and white and working because they want to and not because they have to. Whereas I have friends who do other jobs on campus, such as student guarding, and they work because they have to. And I find myself like dressing a certain way, speaking a certain way in order to like fulfill this stereotype. Basically, I feel like I'm just constantly trying to prove myself, at least intellectually, in a world that obviously thinks I'm not capable of it.